Taking us behind the headlines, Chris Johnston from Hockey Night in Canada. Chris, 2012 around the NHL, one of the big fishes at trade deadline was Rick Nash. Are we there again?
History is repeating itself, especially in Rick Nash's case. He might not be the biggest fish at this deadline, but certainly he does now expect to be traded by February 26th by the New York Rangers. On Sunday, they asked him for his trade list. He can make it down to 12 teams in which he'll accept a trade. Of course, the Rangers could come back to him in the future here and ask him if one of the ones that is on his no trade, if he would accept that type of deal. But let's expect Rick Nash to end up with a very strong competitive team. The Nashville Predators, the St. Louis Blues among those looking for scoring wingers. And also don't rule out the possibility of a return to Columbus. Rick maintains a house there in the offseason. It is believed he would be open to a trip back to the Blue Jackets.
Who said you can't go home again? Chris, it's been an awful season in the desert for the Coyotes. And as we understand it, according to Larry Brooks, Max Domi may be on the move. What do you know?
Well, it's been a very frustrating season for Max Domi. He only has 3 goals this year. And in some ways, he's a little bit like Anthony Duclair in that he was once thought to be part of the future with the Coyotes, and it really just hasn't happened there. And it is believed that Max Domi would be open to a move. I'm not sure he's at the point where he's demanded a trade, but certainly the Coyotes would listen at this point. And, you know, look, it's a year where nothing has taken hold, and Max Domi's still young enough. He's just playing out the final season of his entry-level deal, so he will need a new contract, and perhaps a fresh start is best for him. But he's a player out there that it's known if teams want to acquire that he can go out, he can be had.
Chris, we'll finish up by talking about the Toronto Maple Leafs. And earlier we mentioned Josh Leivo has officially asked for a request out of the organization. But that's not the only issue/drama the Maple Leafs are faced with right now, is it?
No, they're facing a real crunch right now. Basically, Nikita Kucherov is down with the Toronto Marlies on a conditioning loan, and when he comes off that loan, the Leafs are going to have to open up a roster spot. So this is in addition to Josh Leivo, who obviously isn't happy with his situation and not playing, in addition to Matt Martin, who's been on a stretch of healthy scratches. And the Leafs are going to have to either make a trade to open up that spot, perhaps put one of Leivo, Kucherov, or Martin on waivers, or maybe send Kasperi Kapanen down. But at this point, that seems unlikely, given that he's been a regular in Mike Babcock's lineup.
Yeah, so normally we see the path of least resistance taken. You don't see it ending up that way this time around, Chris?
It could still be that. I mean, Lou Lamoriello's showing he's got tricks up his sleeve, but, you know, let's look for a trade here. I know that the names of those 3 gentlemen have been out there with other teams.
Always good stuff. Thanks, CJ.
Thank you.